and welcome to today's episode of the Beaute Industry podcast, your online support community for the professional beauty industry, connecting you with educational pieces, innovative industry products, and inspiration from industry experts. I am your host, founding director of Beaute Industry, Tamara Shaw. As always, today's episode is one I was so excited to record, not only for myself, but because today's guest has been requested to feature on this episode by you, our Beaute Industry community. Today we are talking with the lovely Robyn McAlpine, Principal and Lead Skin Saver of Skintifix. Robyn has made it her life's mission to provide no-nonsense skincare advice that cuts through industry hype. Robyn owns her own skin clinic in Newcastle called Skintifix, which delivers practical skin-based treatments that restore clients' skin without the invasive on-trend treatments. You may have seen Robyn, or better yet know her, as the expert skin therapist across Instagram, or better yet be familiar with Robyn as the brand ambassador for the skincare brand Dermavisuals. On the podcast today, we warmly welcome Robyn McAlpine.
It's such a pleasure to join you, Tamara. Thank you for having me.
My absolute pleasure. Thank you. I can appreciate all of the time out of your busy clinic and being a business owner there. So I really appreciate you coming on board with us.
You're welcome.
So firstly, Robyn, tell us about your journey into running Skintifix. So where did it all begin for you?
Well, it actually took me a really long time to get into the beauty industry because I didn't think I was girly enough to be in such a pretty industry. So I never wore dresses, and still to this day, I barely own foundation. In fact, I'm pretty sure the one that I have is completely out of date. So I finally graduated beauty college in 2005, and my first job was in a day spa, and then after that was a really clinical cosmetic business. So I'd seen the extremes of the industry, from a warm spa environment to the highly clinical, almost cold environment. And in both areas, I could see the need for more advanced skin education. So this really put me on a learning path to truly understanding skin, as I'd kind of left college feeling really inadequate in this area because, you know, we get a lot of focus and attention on how to perform a manicure or do waxing, but we really just get the basics of skin. So I felt like there was just more that I needed to know. So when launching my business, I was able to draw on both the relaxed spa and the highly clinical to find a balance between the two, and making a strong focus on skin and corneotherapy, and voila, Skintifix was born. And of course, it's evolved incredibly in the last 9 years, which included a complete brand overhaul and rename for my business. But that's all part of the growth and the learning and accepting what comes in the future. But honestly, my business is my first love, and I love it so much. It should probably be illegal. And I am thankful every single day that I get to do what I love, and it just sustains me on so many levels. I love it.
Yeah, I can always tell in your voice, especially I listen to you a lot over the social medias, how passionate you are about the industry. Talk to us about that kind of the journey into growing your brand as Skintifix, and what the kind of brand changeover and evolution was for you.
I probably started out more on the clinical side of things, and I did understand skin well, but I guess over the years that's definitely evolved. But building the brand, it's funny, you know, when you name your business, or you start, you know, you're sitting at your kitchen table one night and you decide you're going to have a business, and the first thing you've got to do is think up a business name. And I had no experience in business at all, so I was making it up as I went. So that is something for me that has evolved over time. And what I learned is that you're actually allowed to put your personality into it. I think we all think we have to be very corporate or, you know, play by the rules. But I just learned the more I am me, then the better that does for my business, I guess. And so that's where the evolution of the business brand, I guess, took place, because I realized that my clinic didn't fit me. And so yeah, I spent a lot of time putting the two of us back together again.
Amazing, amazing. I have done a little bit of marketing in my time, and it is known that the best brands have a story or a personality behind them. And I can definitely see with your brand evolution, I feel like even from an outsider point of view, you're looking a lot more comfortable in the business nowadays.
Thank you. That's really nice to hear, because honestly, I am just making it up as I go. I don't have, a big corporate plan or anything like that. But really, the more I've put myself into the business and allowed me to be who I am, then that's certainly, I do feel more comfortable. So I'm glad you see that.
Yeah. Even with beaute industry. So at the start, I was like, no, this is going to be a known brand, and I don't want people to think of Tamara and beaute industry. I just want them to think of beaute industry. And as I've gone along and I've said to people, oh no, that's my business, they're like, why aren't you plastering about it? Why aren't you owning up to that? And I've gone, okay, so now I am telling more of my story as well, and people are relating to it.
Yeah, and I think that's the key, because I think as business owners, we think we've got to have a brand look, because we don't want people to always ask for us. We want our team to be busy as well. And so I kind of had, in the beginning, I guess that's the advice you get from all your business coaches or your branding specialists. But I realized there's just so much heart and soul in my business, and my team carry that same heartbeat as I do. So I no longer fear that, and I just think let's just be who we are.
Yeah, absolutely. Was it always your aim to be a business owner?
Funny, I grew up just assuming that business is what I would always do, and I don't come from a business-minded family, but I just kind of knew that when I grow up, I'd be the boss. So it wasn't until much later that I knew that it would be in the skin industry. But in the beginning, I didn't think I was smart enough to learn about skin or to actually be really good at it. But I'm so thankful that I found it and that I fell in love with biology, because I cannot imagine doing anything else with my life. And and then to do this as my business and for it actually to be successful, this is what dreams are made of. I wake up every single day pumped and just so excited to work with my amazing team and serve our clients. So, I guess I always knew I'd be in business, but I hadn't, because I wasn't that girly girl, or I didn't even paint my nails and things. I'm surprised it's in the beauty industry, but I'm so thankful that this is what I get to do every day.
Amazing. And your kind of tagline, or what you're associated for, is being a corneotherapist, and it's given you that kind of expert skin therapist title.
Yeah.
What is corneotherapy, and how did you discover that was the kind of pathway you wanted to travel down?
In the beginning, when I started learning more about skin and went into so much more in-depth study about cells and their function and what they need, I kind of realized there was a bit of a gap in understanding how skin works, and then linking that back to skincare and ingredients and the impact that they have, whether it's good or bad or indifferent, on how skin cells function. So the more I learned about that and what disrupted their ability to do the job, the more I realized that not all skincare is skincare. So it got me really thinking about product formulations and how that's all working, and that set me on a journey to find out more. And I guess that's how my adventure into corneotherapy began. And when I first discovered this word on the internet, I had no clue what it meant. So curiosity got the better of me, and it sunk my teeth right in. And I actually found my home. It was almost like I'd come into this group or this place where I'm like, oh my God, this is where I'm meant to be. Because it kind of really stoked my fires on how skin should be treated and what I understood of skin. So it was just this perfect alignment of that. And so what corneotherapy is, it's about respecting our skin's barrier function at all times. So it's avoiding ingredients or treatments that will disrupt how our barrier is being formed, respecting our keratinocyte skin cell life cycle, and making sure that that is our aim of the game. Because I've found with working with corneotherapy for so long now that once you fix that process and once you keep your barrier intact, everything else hums along and ticks along nicely, and skin just knows what it's meant to do. So I avoid any ingredients that disrupt that skin's barrier and create tension on the surface or that harm our skin. And that generally is, in a nutshell, the principles of corneotherapy.
Amazing. And so can anyone be a corneotherapist, or did you have to go through specific training to get that kind of title?
At the moment, there's no real formal qualification in becoming a corneotherapist. There's a set of principles that those of us who practice corneotherapy follow quite strictly. And so that includes performing treatments and working with ingredients that avoid those barrier-disrupting ingredients or that aren't physiological to the skin. So becoming a corneotherapist is really about the level of education that you're working on. And I guess that's being in this community has certainly up-leveled my skill level, because, you know, it's almost like you find your family and everyone, you know, shares their knowledge. It's a really beautiful community, I've found. But I've joined the International Association of Applied Corneotherapy, and you can find more about that at corneotherapy.org. And there's some great resources and contributions from some of the world's leading doctors, scientists, and those who use corneotherapy in their skin practices every single day. So that's kind of where I kind of fell into it and found more about it. But you don't have to be a member to access a lot of the resources. So it's a really great place to start. And corneotherapy is something that I'm really fiercely protective of, because to me, it's not a sales word or something that we use as marketing. It's actually, it's a scientific practice that is a way of treating skin. And it's changed my entire clinic offerings because I could see the principles behind it. So I definitely, if it's something that kind of piques your curiosity, I would say absolutely look into it. And it's the best thing I've ever done for both my career and my business.
Amazing. And so you often talk about being a skin nerd on all of your
Queen
digital.
Of the nerds.
Yeah. And I myself am a skin nerd. So what has been kind of an educational pathway which you have, it might be a course, it might be a reading online blog, whatever it is that you have really associated with in terms of getting further education?
The woman that changed my trajectory and my career was absolutely Florence Barrett-Hill. Her teachings through prestige.co.nz, I think is her website. She has online courses that really go back to the basics of how a cell functions. What does a cell need for breakfast, lunch, and dinner to be able to metabolize or, create healthy skin? So I devoured her content, and I am not the sharpest tool in the shed. So I've done that course 4 or 5 times, because the first time I left and cried live class, because I couldn't believe here I am owning a business, treating skin. And I realized, you don't know, but I realized I knew very little about skin. And when you get to that point, you can either run and hide and pretend that it doesn't matter and you don't need to know, or you can face up to your inadequacies and decides to put in the hard yards and learn. And so for me, Florence Barrett-Hill changed my career. Gay Wardle is another amazing woman who is well known in our industry. She has a heart of gold, and excuse me, she has some great learning resources, and I send all of my team to her as well. So
Fantastic.
2 phenomenal women who have really served our industry. And if you are looking for more and hungry to really understand skin, that's where I would say to start.
Amazing. And if I can backlink to 2 episodes ago where we talked with Acti Training. They actually have a course with Gay Wardle. So that's brilliant. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Traveling all the way to Canberra, but I'm sure they're probably going to expand out, into other states. But that's pretty cool. And her name does get brought up so often. Maybe we need to get her on the podcast too.
Oh, definitely. She's an amazing woman, amazing teacher, and worth traveling interstate for. I fly my team to wherever Gay is because she's worth every penny of investment. Yeah.
And I can't stress enough, you're obviously so passionate and very self-driven in terms of educating yourself further. I was in a basic skin biology class the other week, and I had all of these gorgeous women around me who were in the industry, therapists treating, and I felt like I was the only one who could really answer the questions adequately. And I saw these poor therapists, a lot of them were very green to the industry, but I did see these therapists looking like little deers in headlights. And I thought, oh my goodness, I don't want to answer all of the questions. But it really is on the therapist to kind of get their own knowledge up there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really our responsibility. And that's one thing that I encourage with my team, is to always be looking for new education, and don't be afraid to feel like the idiot in the class. Like I have in the beginning, I mean, now it's, I feel like, well, it's easy for you to say, Robyn, because you know it all. But in the beginning, I would sit there and I would be the one that would ask the dumb questions because I didn't understand. And so don't feel like you're inadequate. Just, if you want to learn, get in there, get elbow deep and ask the hard questions. Yeah.
Amazing. And so in partnering with Dermavigils, you've since become that brand ambassador for working with them. How did it feel to be partnered with such an incredible company, and what does that mean for you now?
It was a bit of a pinch me moment, actually, because it came really out of the blue. I've worked in my clinic exclusively. I've stocked Dermavigils for eight or so years, almost since they first came into Australia. I was one of their first stockists, and I discovered them in my research into corneotherapy, because that's how long I'd kind of been on the outskirts and looking around. And honestly, they're the perfect fit for how I believe that skin should be treated. And yeah, when they approached me to be their ambassador, I was completely blown away. But I can see how, it's something that I'm so passionate about, and I believe in, and I trust this brand. So yeah, but not only is it about the Dermavigils, it's the team behind it, Derma Aesthetics. They are such a support to my business and those of us who stock Dermavigils. And from the beginning, we've both shared this very similar values in ethics in business. So yeah, to be a brand ambassador for them feels like a really natural progression, because I love everything they stand for. And I guess what that means for me is it gives me a bit more of a platform and an opportunity to share what I absolutely love. And it opens some doors, which I guess elevates my business and my team. So I feel extremely fortunate to have been approached for this. And it truly has just come out of me being extremely passionate about what I do and what Dermavigils has meant for both me and my business, and also my clients. It has changed lives. And it sounds so corny to say that, but when you have a client who has just struggled with their skin for so long, that reflection that they see in the mirror, knowing it or not, it sets up the internal voice that they have running around in their head all day, whether they're not worthy, not enough, and how that impacts them. So to have such an incredible tool in my fingertips to be able to be a part of their story, to change that for them, it's like what I was born. Like, I get quite emotional about it, because I've just seen over the years so many people's lives impacted. So I love it.
It's such a good feeling, isn't it, when you have that, especially nowadays with people taking before and after photos, and you can have that moment with your client and say, look where we begun.
Yes. Yeah. And it's also that point where they've become a little bit jaded with the industry, because they have been to skin therapists who, whether that's just a lack of understanding or education, or they're not quite there in their journey of learning yet, haven't had the skills to be able to transform their skin. So a lot of clients come to me with that distrust already, thinking, oh, here we go again. But when it finally happens, they're like, oh my God. And it's just, floats my boat.
It's a magic moment. Yeah. And I'm sure you get quite a lot of new clients through your social and digital. You're always super, super active and really interactive with your audience across all of your platforms. My best friend and I, we're always looking, and we saw you at the beauty industry, and we were like, oh my God, that's Robyn, because we always see your stuff online. So for those who haven't seen your social channels, tell us a little bit about them and your Monday Facebook Live stuff.
So I'm on Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn, but I'm not that good at it. I would definitely not say social media is not my strong point, but I have been learning and growing that skill in my life. And honestly, my Facebook Lives are just me jumping on for a quick chat about all things skin, and it can be any manner of topics. And each week, it's usually inspired by conversations I'm having with clients in the clinic or my team. And I kind of think if my clients are asking those questions, then maybe other people are too. And I'm not afraid to kind of say the hard stuff or talk about controversial things or sometimes rock the boat because, you know, for example, one of my lives that kind of blew up a little bit was talking about exfoliation and over-exfoliating. And
yes, I saw
understanding,
that one.
when and why to do it. So my inbox blew up with lots of therapists going, but I don't understand. You've got to peel for acne or you've got to do this or that. And what I saw was a lot of people going and asking me, well, hang on, how do you know this? Why don't I know this? So, yeah, some of them can be a little bit controversial, but yeah, every week it's different. And, you know, some weeks I skip a week if I'm away or doing some media events and things like that, so I don't get onto it. But yeah, I love them. And from time to time I'll be joined by others, particularly if I've got an expert in their field, so I'll interview them. And it's great because everyone can have a chat and chime in when it's live. And it's a lot of fun. It's really relaxed. And, you know, I encourage people to do it because you know, sometimes I filmed a video in my bath towel because I've been inspired while I've been in the shower going, oh, I need to tell everyone about this. So I'm literally in my bathroom. So it's spontaneous, far from polished, and you'll always hear me tripping over my own tongue or stuffing up. But that is me, and that's what keeps it real. But yeah, my Instagram, you can find me as Expert Skin Therapist, or my business page, Skintifix. Both of them I run and I'm always on. And, you know, we've all got our phone in our hands, so I'm usually pretty close by.
Yeah. If there's some business owners listening to this and they are thinking about doing, you know, their own Facebook Live or posting more on their Instagram, can you just share for us how those platforms have helped you in your business?
They have really connected us, I guess, with our community and our clients by bridging that gap of, I guess you know, when people walk into a beauty salon, it can feel quite intimidating if if you don't already have good skin, or you feel like, you know, you're not wearing enough makeup, or you're not dressed correctly, or whatever those little hang-ups that we have. It's kind of seemed as a bit of a judgmental industry. I think what's the success for me has been in that clients go, oh my God, they're just real people. And I don't have to be, you know, perfect before I walk in the door. And that's really connected us with this reality of just, you know, it's so normal. Don't even stress. And I'm as real in my Facebook Lives as I am in my clinic, you know, the way I talk to my clients. We are super professional, but at the same time, we're so real and so relatable. And I think by having that social media platform and having that available to us has really shown that we're just people and we love what we do, and we want to love on you as well.
Yeah, and I think in what you were saying there about it is really daunting for people who aren't in the industry, sometimes, especially depending on the clinic, but you walk in and sometimes there's like 4 or 5 girls behind the desk and they all kind of pop up and look at you like little meerkats from behind this big fat white desk, and you think, oh my goodness, you know, even coming in from the industry, and they're all stunning with this gorgeous makeup, gorgeous skin. Probably most of them have anti-wrinkle even by the time they're like 25, and you think, oh my goodness, I'm not worthy. So I think from that client point of view as well, I love that you're, you know, really real, really relatable. And one good point to mention there as well is that you don't always talk as scientific as some other channels do. So I think that's really relatable for clients. In what you were referring to back in your Facebook Live about the exfoliation, you know, you were talking about that germinativum layer being the baby cell, and then as it migrates up through the stratum corneum, it becomes like an adult. But if you're over resurfacing, it doesn't go through that teenage kind of pre-adult phase. And I think that really connects with a lot of clients.
One of my favorite sayings, I think it's probably attributed to Einstein, is if you can't explain something simply enough, you don't understand it well enough. And so that is my key for everything. If I can't explain it to a client in a way that's really easy to understand, clearly I don't have the grasp on it to be able to create an analogy or explain it in different ways until they have that light bulb moment. And so whilst it may sound very basic when I'm speaking to clients or doing a Facebook Live, it's really because, you know, no one cares about the science.
Yeah.
They don't. They want the results and they want to understand how it works without having a degree. So, yeah, that's what I love.
Yeah. And a lot of the times what clients just want to know is why. You know, so we talk products and treatments and ingredients and how to apply it and when to apply it, and we just don't tell them why. It's just the most basic thing.
Yeah, you'll often hear me say, once you know the why, the how is easy. So once you've explained, well, why hasn't my previous skincare worked, or why doesn't this happen, or why is my skin like this? And you go, oh, well, this is because this ingredient does this and that, and your cells do this and that. And they go, oh, great. So how do I fix it? There's the magic. Yeah.
It's having that kind of light bulb moment for the client, isn't it?
Yeah.
Amazing. So you are located in Newcastle, down in Sydney there. Can you, you know, our podcast is more B2B, so we're business talking to business owners, but definitely when I make my way up to Sydney, even maybe for the Beauty Expo, I might try and hire a little car and come down to you and have a little facial. But can you just tell us about, you know, our business owners and things like that? Where can people find out more about you and, you know, all of your socials and all of that kind of good stuff?
Lovely. Well, I'm in Newcastle, which is about an hour and a half north of Sydney. So on the beaches, beautiful place in the world. But you can find me on my website, which is skintifix.com.au. I'm always active on my Facebook, social media, and Instagram, and I'm on as Robyn McAlpine, expert skin therapist on Facebook and expert skin therapist on Instagram. And also you can find me at, you know, any Skintifix social media as well, because I'm there. But I'm often in Sydney. So yeah, if anyone's down there wants to have a cup of coffee, actually I don't drink coffee. We're going to do chai. I would love to get to know you. And my biggest passion is in sharing in this industry. It's quite a closed, almost competitiveness. And one thing I found, particularly in corneotherapy circles, is that it's very open and there's no threat of sharing, because we are all in this in together. There is enough to go around. And if I've learned a lesson the hard way, I'm more than happy to share with you how to avoid the pitfalls. You know, I'm coming into my 10th year and running my own business. I still feel like the newbie. I still feel like I don't have a clue what I'm doing. I'm literally flying by the seat of my pants and making it up as I go. I feel a little bit more comfortable now in what I'm doing. But would love to chat and share, because we're all in this together.
Yeah. I love that. And that's the exact reason why beauty industry is what it is because I found that too, that I hate the word competition. It just really grinds my gears. And exactly as you said, you've hit the nail on the head perfectly. If you have learned something, why wouldn't you share that knowledge with everyone else? You know, on our beauty industry community on Facebook and our closed group, one of the members said last week, I'm trying to target a campaign to males. And so do I speak more masculine? How do I target them? And, you know, I just thought, why would we not help her? You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I said, if you're wanting to target males, first of all, figure out who you're targeting. So are you targeting the dads? Are you doing the lunchtime businessmen? Are you doing the 3 o'clock tradies? You know, and then from there, you're going to be able to speak more genuinely and really focus in on who your audience is. And I just find that if our industry was less competition, more community, and exactly as you're saying, just sharing everything with everyone, you know, there's enough money, there's enough clients, everything is big enough and bad enough that there is no reason why we shouldn't share what worked well. And to be honest, you know, you're in Newcastle in New South Wales. I might be down in Victoria. Yeah. We are not competing against each other.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's just craziness.
Yeah. And I love the community that you're building. It is so refreshing to see. And yeah, I'm so excited for what's coming for beauty industry because, I think you're onto a winner and it's going to be amazing.
Thank you. We've had so much request for so obviously we have the beaute brunch down in Melbourne, but lots of requests for Sydney. So if we we will one day come up to Sydney and we'll get that movement going in even more states.
Awesome. I'll buy you first ticket for Sydney.
Oh, you're a gem. Well, I'm going to wrap it up there today, Robyn. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
No, my absolute pleasure. I appreciate you're probably flooded with back-to-back clients, so all of your time and your insight and your knowledge is just so valuable to us. And we will link all of the Skintifix website, Facebook, Instagram, all of that kind of stuff to our online community.
Thank you.
And as you've said there, you're really open to chatting further. So if you, our audience, are listening there and you want to chat to Robyn, please do feel free to reach out. And as always, if you have enjoyed today's podcast, please make sure to share it with all of your industry friends. I love when you subscribe, and it gives me tingles when you give us a little 5-star rating or even a little review on what you thought about today's episode. And as you guys know, we are all on every single social media channel. I'm sure I'm flooding your feeds at the moment, and I don't even apologize for it because I want you to know everything that we're doing. But jump on the website and create a member profile. And until next time, stay connected. Thank you for joining into episode number 12, all about corneotherapy with Robyn McAlpine from Skintifix. Episode number 13 chats to Claire Martin of Claire Martin Cosmetic Tattoo. So be sure to tune in next Monday. Until next time, stay connected.